Hello, hello. It's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. I'm sorry I'm a little late today. We went and saw Spider Man. I'm like, what was it called? Um, and it was like they wanted it. My kids wanted to see it in the IMAX, so it's like half hour away. So I don't know. We didn't get home till like 4:30. So I made it to this time, and then my husband's like, I'll pick up food because we're having our kitchen sink replaced tomorrow because it cracked. Um, Long story. Anyway, I'm gonna put some lipstick on. I should have done this a second ago and I forgot. So there you go. That's what it is. So what else is new? Yeah. Oh, so he was like, I don't want you to have to come up and do a lot of dishes or anything or have to deal with anything. So no problem for me. Anyway, so I had to eat quick. So I hope everybody is doing well. It's good to see you all. I don't know if anybody else is going to show up. And I sent out an email and I didn't see it till late because, again, we were in the movie and it was like, I'm not checking emails in a movie. Whoever I sent it out to, the email didn't work. So maybe I'll do 2 next week since it out before it got bounced back and I didn't have time. And I thought, well, who's going to want 5 minutes notice? Anyway, so Devery, I don't know if you're here. Charlie girl, if you're here. This isn't my regular time. So if you want to ask your question, go ahead. I've been at my job for a year now, but still don't feel settled. But I get it. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I want to feel like I'm at the right place. Yeah, I don't feel like it's the job itself that's the issue. It feels like there's like one person. It's like there's one main person that makes you feel uncomfortable. It feels like a female. And then there's like a male in the background. So somehow they're connected like they're, buddies at work or whatever. And I feel like that's what makes like it makes you feel like I don't know if it's like an outsider is the feeling. Gross, what's that? Sorry. I figured out how like dirt under it. I'm like, ugh. So it just feels it's easy for me to say this, like it's not you, it's them. Um does this resonate when I'm saying it? But that's what I'm being shown. It kind of reminds me of, so there was this thing that I was doing for a while, and it was a group of women, and I don't know, I guess I'm not the main leader's cup of tea. And so, some of the people that follow her have a way of mm, being devoted to their guru. It's like mean girl behavior, right? Where it's like, I don't know. But like those people get burned too. And it feels like it's that same kind of thing. It's like they're not really like the person that's created the problem. So this main woman in your thing isn't really loyal to anybody or, like it's like if they'll turn on anybody if they can. I mean, I have it on good authority. This woman is not very nice to a lot of people. So like, I'm not taking it personally, like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? It's like, oh no, she's like that. So, especially if somebody intimidates them in some way, and it just feels like this woman, for whatever reason, feels threatened by you. That's why I'm rambling into this, I think. So it's just, I'm like, um, it, it's not that you don't belong there. It's like, ugh. Maybe, and I know it sounds sucks like when I say this, but it's like the expectation of like, oh, there's this like idea, and I don't know if like movies or TV put this idea in our heads that we're supposed to be like buddy buddy with people at work. And I'm like kind of the weirdo where at work I was like, I don't really care if I'm friends with people. Like I always found that things got messy sometimes, like especially when I was doing travel nursing and I was put in charge of a lot of things, or like when I was made charge nurse on at this one place, like I didn't necessarily want to be buddy buddy because I feel like sometimes your friends take advantage of you in those situations. Like, oh, give me the easy assignment. I don't want to work that hard. And I tend to be a workhorse. So it just feels like, I don't know. Don't go in with the idea of like, I need to be buddy buddy. It's like, there's nothing wrong with just having a very professional relationship with people where you're, friendly, cordial, polite, but like, I'm just here to do a job. I mean, I know it's weird when corporate America, like everybody's got a kitchen and a workout area. And my husband's office started moving more towards that because like everybody's doing it. But I'm like, it's nice that you want to provide food for people, but like, should they be so married to their job that they can't leave the office? So I guess I just feel like it's like, just go and do your job and find the joy in your ability to do the job well and not worry about if you're like super buddy buddy with them. Find your friends outside of work. I mean, I was never like not friendly with people, right? And I have friends that I've made at work and things like that. But like when I was a nurse, I didn't always work with those people because we had different schedules sometimes. And I don't know, just saying. Which reminds me, I have someone I need to reach out to and say hello. My friend Betty. She's a lot older. She could be my mom, but I love her. Anyway, I don't know. It's not about like, will it get better? It's just sort of, I'm like trying to ask, will she leave or will karma get her? If you believe in karma that way. There is something around 2 or 3 years. So I don't know, has that woman been there for 2 or 3 years? Ugh, my gut is full. Much longer. So it may be, and I hope it's 2 or 3 months and not 2 or 3 years, but maybe it's like 2 or 3 years and she's out the door, which seems like a really long time. But I mean, my almost fifth grader was a kindergartner just recently. You know what I mean? Like everything just moves so quickly. I'm going to draw my little things on me. My little runes, because I like them. They make me feel as though, whatever. Since I don't wear my bracelets or anything. Is the man her minion? Like he just feels like he's kind of behind her. Just reminds me of a minion. Debbie, are you here? Is anyone else here? Who else is here? Say hello. So I started doing this thing because, I'm always experimenting on myself with treatments and holistic stuff. Hi, Joelle. Oh, by the way, I still have for everybody, I still have spaces available in my psychic development circle starting this week. It's Thursdays. It's 4 Thursdays from noon to 1:30, I think. I know that's helpful. It's on my website. If you go to my website, it says Zoom events because it'll be over Zoom. And there's still spaces available. So join it. It's not scary. It's not weird. And if you think, oh, I could never, it's absolutely possible. Everybody is able to connect into their intuition. There's a woman, Rose, on here who um, follows me. She sends all of her friends to me. I'm so excited. I get to, one of her friends is coming in from another country. I'm trying not to give away too much about her, but, and she's like, my friend, I want her to get a reading from you. And she's had some of her other friends when they're in town, because she helps translate if I need it. And I'm excited. Like, I always, whenever you guys send your friends to me and your family to me, that means a lot to me, because, you know, you don't tell people about somebody unless you trust them, right? Anyway, so, but she joined it, and she did it a while ago, and she was like, I can't do this. I don't know any of it. Like, she did fantastic. So I don't know, if you're new to it and you think like, oh, I can't do that. Like, yes, you can. You absolutely can. And it will teach you how, and it's not scary, and you're not going to get forbidden information or anything like that. And if you've been doing it for a long time, it's a great way to continue to grow. I am still growing my abilities. I am still learning more. I had a client this week who it was interesting, because she wanted to connect just to mediumship, and she chose an hour-long reading, and I was like, and it was just for one person. I was like, well, let me try and connect with your energy first, and do like where I in my normal readings, I connect with everybody's energy. I give you everything that I get, and then I ask if you have any questions or if you want to connect with anybody, because there's plenty of time to do that. And I started trying to connect with her, and her father kept started coming through, and I was like, so we're not doing it this way, because I was like, well, we'll just do it that way first and see what I get, and then if if it comes through, blah, blah. And I was like, well, we're just going to do mediumship. And so there was an event that had happened, and she wanted to know if he knew about it and if he understood it. And it was something kind of, I got your payment, Joelle. And yeah. And it was something kind of traumatic. And I kept seeing it one way. I was like, I can only see you in the chaos around it. And it came in differently than I normally get it when I get it from guides. When I get it from guides, it's a little more clear. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think he connected with it. And I realized the next day, because I was still trying to suss it out, because I'm like, it didn't feel right, that it was me seeing it from his perspective in the moment. So it was like he sort of saw what was going on and understood it, but didn't really understand what was going on because of his state of mind. And so what I'm saying to you is that you're always going to learn, you're always going to grow. It is an evolving thing, like when you learn languages, right? So I'm still learning vocabulary in English that I didn't know. Like, you're going to be refining through time. So it's not just like I took one class or I took 3 courses and I've been doing this for 50 years. It's like, you're always going to learn new things. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just join me. So, okay. Jeffrey, are you here? Do you want to get a reading? Maybe you thought it was at 4:00 and that's why I'm doing it later today. Joel, you can ask your question. Or did you want any other clarification at all, Charlie, since it wasn't like a time thing? And I'm just going to check the other PayPal, because I guess we're still working from both of these. Oof. Sorry, I eat too much. I didn't even eat that much. I just think it's like I'm bending over and my pants are digging into my gut. Oh, well, no, she knew, because this was later. I think it was. Let me see what time she paid. Doesn't say. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo-hoo. Okay, you're welcome. So, Joelle, if you want to ask your question, since I'm just waiting to see if Deborah shows up. A general reading? Okay, no problem. So the first things I kind of keep noticing is, first of all, I do feel like you're starting to really develop and connect into your intuition a little bit more, because I could feel myself drop in. It took a minute. There's a little anxiety just in general. I feel like having some generalized anxiety. Um, Feeling directionless is what I just heard. Um, I also feel a little like feel a little dehydrated, and like really needed to focus on doing some deep breath work. Um, it's almost like you're holding your breath, waiting for something to happen, but you're not sure what. So it's like that anxiety is there. They're talking about you're making some adjustments right now, um, sort of adjusting your idea of where you thought life would be. It's not like a bad thing. Like, I don't feel disappointed, or, but it's like, oh, these were my expectations, or this is what I thought life was supposed to be like. Sort of like that idea. If you're looking at, so sorry, I'm just trying to breathe through some of the feelings. It's not bad. It's just, it's energy swirling kind of a feeling. It's just like, again, can be a lot sometimes. I'm also, hang on, I'm just being brought in awareness to my left side here. So I don't know if you're having like tightness, like from the left side of your jaw here, because I'm feeling it up in my mandible area and down my neck, down the side of my neck. So all of this is sort of interconnected. It just feels really tight. This is my left side. And I'll look at this in a second to make sure if this connects. So hopefully I'll remember where I'm at. So I'm feeling tightness here. Waiting for this room to heat up. I'm really cold. I have a lot of postnasal drip. I don't know if you're having allergy issues or something like that, but it's just like, ugh. Um, oh, I just had to bring myself back to what we were talking about before. Sorry. So the the part of the spiritual journey I'm on right now, as I talk about like doing a lot of the shadow work, right? But a lot of that is more connected to manifestation for me. And if the connections with it. So if it's true, like the law of assumption is what we believe to be true is like how the world shows up, right? So our belief systems create a reality. If that's true, then where do my blocks come from, right? So I'm really like digging back to go look at them. It's like, you don't really have to do this, but my brain clicks quicker and shifts things quicker when I understand the root cause of it, right? Just like with nursing, I would get myself into trouble a little bit or annoy people. I would want to know the why. Like, great that you're treating the symptoms, but I want to know what's the root cause of it, because I really believe if you just root out the root cause of it, then you don't need all of this other stuff, right? So if the root cause of your reflux is, you know, I don't know, sesame oil and garlic, well, then, like, look, you take sesame oil and garlic out of your diet, then you don't need any medication for reflux. And my father-in-law was like, well, you just take a pill for it. I'm like, yeah, but why not just like not have the inflammation and irritation in your body? So it just feels like, I don't know why I'm rambling onto this, so bear with me here, but there's a reason and there's something you need to know in this. And I trust that the process of me rambling. Um, it just feels like you're really starting to look at, I had this idea that I wanted my life to turn out into X, Y, and Z, but maybe that's a story that we've been fed about the way life is supposed to be. And maybe that doesn't really fit my true happiness, where I've been trying to fit what I thought would be, because they say this is where you find happiness and you feel whole and complete and blah, 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 like the story we've been sold about that. And you're sort of sitting back and like, maybe that's not the real story. Like, maybe that's fit the narrative of capitalism or whatever, patriarchy, misogyny, all of that. And maybe what is really going to complete me. So it's like, maybe I thought I always needed to be married and have this certificate and like all of that stuff. And now that I'm kind of like gotten a little bit wiser or done a little bit more digging into where that comes from, I sort of go, oh, maybe I don't need that. I feel like that's kind of where you're at right now. Now I'm opening my eyes to look at this. Hello, Regine. Wait, what makes sense, by the way? Because I was rambling. Hair, I don't know, just curls everywhere. I am still taking questions. All of that except also gonna eat a lollipop quick. I've got that thing to stick on it so you're not having to watch me all over my mouth or whatever. Oh, and the only way it would be linked to your thyroid issue is if, because your lymphatics, like they run up here and then all the way down. So maybe just do some gentle, like you can open up your lymphatics by like go above and below your collarbone, just gently rub, right? And then on your left side, you have a whole bunch here that drain into your heart. It looks like I'm rubbing my boob, but it's kind of like my boob armpit area. And then right all in front of your ear, like where your jaw is, and kind of behind your ear and gently down your neck here. And you can kind of go from your chin back. If you put some like, I don't know if when you put like lotion on your face or oil, just so it's smooth, it kind of your hands will run a little bit smoother along that process. And then down, they run all the way up, like back through here too. Maybe that's what I'm feeling. And that actually can be linked to your thyroid. Like if that's not, it'll open up your thyroidism process as well. Oh, I was saying this, and this is interesting. It might be something to look into for you. I've been doing castor oil packs on my neck, my thyroid area, and also my liver. And then I've also been putting castor oil on my skin here. And it's like, oh my God, like really, I have really dry skin. So it's doing wonders for making me look like a smooth baby butt. Just kidding. I still have some, but whatever. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know yet. I'm watching it. But like, I'm noticing some small changes. I'm not going to share with them yet because I don't know quite sure if it's linked yet. I want to do this. I got this information when I did a visualization in my brain room. But I've had night sweats and stuff with it. So something's clearing out. And I've only seen one person mention that, and people in the comments were like, oh, that's maybe your liver detoxing. But apparently castor oil like has been used for healing and Ayurvedic stuff and a lot of functional medicine. So I don't know. I'm just trying it, but it's supposed to like help with inflammation and congestion and helps like remove nodules and cysts and things like that. So it can't hurt is my thought process. Okay, Regine, I'll check. Maybe look into it. Can't hurt you. It's not going to hurt unless you have an allergy. So people will say you soak it in the, like, you can buy these, you can look up castor oil thyroid pack or whatever on Amazon. They have thyroid ones and then they have liver ones, which are bigger because they go over your whole belly. People will say to like pour it on the pack itself and like mix it around, then put it on. I just stick it on my skin first and then stick that over it. So I figure just so it doesn't get all over my clothes and everything. It's really thick. So like on my face, I use it, I mix it with rosehip oil and do that. But it's supposed to sink deeper in than any other oils. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's not hurting anything. So that's all I'm saying. Like it's not going to throw anything into whack. But like it's given me night sweats, and I thought like, oh, maybe my hormones are getting like, I don't know, was thinking, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, mentioning that. But there's this area of like, it's okay for you to be in this exploration area. Like you're in this very healing and cathartic space. So just go with it right now. And don't feel like I've spent so much time like don't sit in remorse and regret, I guess is the best way to say it, of having spent so much time thinking it should be one way and then it's not. And also don't think that like, oh, if I decide that I'm totally fine on my own, then nobody will ever come in and I'll be solo forever. It's like, no. But what that does is it releases the pressure, right? So I did another reading for another woman who I've actually read for many years now. She's a wonderful woman. And I read for her before she married her husband. I read for her when they got divorced. And like, it's been very interesting to see the process. And this man is like, he's done some healing work and I got that. And he's still a part of her life. They have children together. And it's interesting because I just said, like, you're not, because she was asking about dating and stuff. I was like, but you're not, the thing is like, you've had the kids, you've done the marriage, you've been through that. So it's like, there's no hurry. There's no rush to need to be married. So it's like, and I feel like you're going to get in this space too, where you're like, I am so good alone, but it doesn't mean nobody ever is going to come in. It's just knowing that you are enough just as you are. And when you're in that, you're going to end up in a healthier relationship because you're not going to feel this underlying need that someone's going to fulfill you or complete you in some way. That subconscious thing isn't going to be there for you. It's like you're just we're just going to enjoy each other. Like there's no pressure to it. I don't know any other way to say it. And you're going to end up choosing somebody who's much more respectful than you would had you not done that work. Okay. Hello. I'm sorry. It probably sounds really, I don't want to do like ASMR. Like all that. Sorry. I just needed a little bit of sugar. Okay, I will check for PayPal. All right, I got Regine with one, and then I will check my other PayPal since I'm working on switching over. And I was really worried because I still haven't gotten this all figured out yet because last week ended up being a little bit busier than I realized because that's how it is when you have 3 children. But I'm excited when people are signing up for because I fixed the PayPal and stuff like that. But when people are signing up, they're getting their appointments right away. They're picking their appointments. And then I just send them the Zoom link. I've got to figure out why the Zoom link's not fully linking up. I think there's something else I need to do on my website. But it's working out okay. And I'm getting people their Zoom links. And so that's making me happy. And I think people are happy that they can get. Also, if you go in to purchase a reading and there's not an evening available or there's not a weekend available, you can purchase it for whatever date and stick your appointment in and then message me on the side and say like, hey, I signed up for this time, but I'd really prefer a different time and I can move it and fix it. I can open some times up. Those are just sort of like, but if whatever. So I'm saying is just don't hesitate to reach out if there's a time that it works better that's not on my calendar. I might be able to make it available for you. Because that's how I am. Okay, let me add Regine to the list. Is Deborah here yet? Also, with this castor oil pack, I've been having some weird dreams where I'm like, something's happening energetically. Like one of the first nights I had it on, I had a dream about me giving my stepmother the riot act, like zero hesitation on boundaries and things like that. And I didn't, she wasn't horrible, but she also wasn't great either. I don't talk to her anymore. Or am I done? She just she definitely contributed to abusive, shitty things. It's not too late, Cindy. Go ahead. You can, it's not too late to ask a question. I started at like 6:15. So, because we went and saw Spider-Man, which was really funny and good. And I don't want to tell you anything. So like the funnier parts I think are, I don't know, but it's good. It's definitely worth seeing it in the theater if you're a theater goer. I'm telling you, y'all should look into these thyroid things. I mean, these castor oil stuff. I put it on my feet too, because well, my feet have been achy, like from plantar fasciitis and stuff, and that seems to be less annoying today. And it's supposed to help with inflammation, but also it's supposed to help with cracked heels. Apparently, it's like you can do everything with it. Like so I would laugh when I worked in a clinic up in Upper Manhattan. There was a lot of people from PR and DR, and like, I'm not kidding you, they would put Vicks Vapor Rub on everything. Vicks Vapor Rub. And one day this girl came in because it was a pediatric office, and she's like, I had this thing. She's like, and my mom and the mom's like talking to me in Spanish. She's like, Vicks Vapor Rub. And I was like, what? Hey, what did you put on it? Out there. And I found out, I was like, oh no. But it's a thing. Like, kind of like in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, the dad puts Windex on everything. And I was like, so like now I'm like, you can put castor oil on it. Just slather it on. People are saying to put it in your eye. I don't know about that. Like, I'm not sold on the Vicks Vapor Rub. I mean, the castor oil in your eyes to fix your eyes. All right, I got it. Cindy, I got you. Oh, Deborah, where are you, dear? Did you forget? Maybe I'll email her quick. I know I have her email. Let me email her. Just see if she remembers. Because, you know. Oh, and Regine. Shoot, Regine. Sorry. Devree. I'm laughing and talking too much. Of making myself. I think I'm fine. Get yourself together. You know, Cindy, I thought about you earlier today. And I was just thinking, I guess the memory of doing the reading for you in church popped through my little brain. Oh, let me send her. That's what I was going to do. Let me send Deborah. Your life changed after that reading? I was like, so when they teach us to do, so you have this idea, right? That like, so there'll be like people all through the church, right? And they'll be like, we usually have like 5 readers up at the platform. And when we're taught how to do readings from a platform, it's sort of general. It's like, oh, you just go up there and give readings. And I was like, oh my God. And you always say to people like, I'm really being drawn to you. And I was like, oh my God, what if spirit doesn't draw me to somebody? What if I don't know? Like, it's just like, performance anxiety, I guess is the best way to put it. And so some of the reverends said, oh, I just pick somebody out and then I do a reading for them. I would pick a section. Like, I would be like, okay, this is the section I'm going to focus my energy on and see where I was drawn. And then like the person would always kind of light up in a way. But yeah, so you sat in the right section that day. What's your question today? Also, or Regine, go ask your question. You can see my water level. General reading, please. Okay. Oh, wait, can I just tell you the story quick? I don't know why I want to share it with you. I just think it's so cute. My 6-year-old, she's like sitting there all tiny in her chair eating. And all 3 of my kids went today, which is exciting because my oldest doesn't like to go to a lot of stuff because just people-y and it's loud. And she went and I was really excited. So, but my little one was sitting next to me and there was 2 random little boys like sitting on the side of me because they're older brother or something was like sitting in front with his friends, and they were like playing. They were eating popcorn, and they were just kind of like being kind of silly, but like kind of also kind of gross, like little boys can be. And like they were putting their popcorn buckets on their empty popcorn bucket on their head at a point. Like it came and threw on me, and I was like, okay, dude, stop it. I was like, can you please stop? And then they calmed down. They were pretty good. They're just little kids, right? They're like, yeah. And my 5-year-old goes, Mom, or my 6-year-old, she goes, Mom, I am so glad I don't have a brother. And I was like, yeah. And I was just kind of laughed, and she goes, boys are so annoying. And then she like looked at them and gave like the total stink eye. And I'm like kept watching the movie. I just thought it was funny. I was like, yeah. Okay. Okay, general for you. Sorry, Regine. I just had to share it because I don't know. Whatever. You don't mind my rambling. Okay. I don't know if this is the PR flag or the DR flag, and I need to see it. Oh no. Hmm. Let's just see what her email is from here. Sorry, I got a bounce back. So whatever email I have for her there doesn't work. I hope you don't mind. And then I'm also going to look up a flag because I'm getting that because I actually see travel for you. And I'm not sure what flag that is. So I want to see. Oh, it may not be either of those. It might be a different one. Hang on. Okay. Let me see what flag this is. You have DR in your mind. Okay. Housing market looks like for 2024, 2025. Terrence and I are looking to purchase. Okay. Okay, hold on. You said, let me see, TR. That's not the flag I saw. Let me see. All right, bear with me because I'm just trying to see because it's an island flag, but I don't feel if I feel pulled it feels more Puerto Rican than Dominican. It doesn't feel like the Dominican flag, but I just want to see if I can find any of the other island flags. So Hang on. Bear with me. I don't know. Oh, what is that? What flag is that? What flag is that? I can't read it. God dang it. I don't, it's not France. Let me see. It's not DR. Let me see. Let me see the Haiti flag. It's not that one. I don't know that you're buying property. I feel like the first one feels more like a trip. And it feels like an island. It doesn't feel like France. It's not like a huge and it feels like in the Caribbean. It doesn't feel like, off in Bali or anything like that. It feels like a vacation. I know, why would you go to the Caribbean in like July or August? But I feel like there might be something coming up for you. Have you been talking about this with your sisters? You have 2 sisters, right? I do feel like you'll end up buying a property, but it's not until late 2024, early 2025. And it just feels like it's whatever it is that you want doesn't come available until then. I feel like it doesn't mean you're not looking before then. It just feels like not really drawn or pulled to that and not wanting to get um, tied up in it, so to speak, for the wrong property. You're okay. The trip may be with your sisters because it feels like a girls' trip. Um, I know it sounds weird, but it feels like it might be last minute only because it feels like there was some random good deal, like the fares dropped or whatever, and it was like you can like just it all worked out where you can all go together. Hi, Emma. Oh, Emmy. Hi. Hi, Lee. Happy Sunday to you. I don't know what happened, but I just feel like the energy is much lighter with you, Regine. Like you sort of like um, released some things that were kind of tying up your energy. I just feel much freer. I keep hearing Taylor Swift songs in my head. Probably because it's like all over my FYP. It's funny. I don't listen to her a lot. I do know some of her songs because my kids like some of them. And she's obviously very talented and her music is very catchy. And like, it's not that I don't like her music. It's just not like, it's not my first go-to listen to. I'm usually, lately I've liked Sting a lot and Fleetwood Mac. So I don't know if there's some connection with Taylor Swift. It's just all over my brain. I joined, you said you have 2 sisters, right? Oh, that's cool. That maybe you're supposed to be here for something. Being healthy and exercise and working on your mental health. Perfect. That's where you need to be then. Okay, Cindy wants to know, my niece 15, distant from family now. Okay. Brother worried, caught up with a friend and was thinking getting that Bark app doesn't come along anymore with family things, stays home on iPhone or iPad. You're very welcome. Oh, no, Julia, you're not too late. Oh. All right, Cindy, let me answer your question. I have, I don't know who this is. Jennifer, I don't know what your screen name is. Is what a new email? My PayPal is a new PayPal, but you can still use the old one if you need to, if that makes it easier for you. Jennifer, I don't know what your screen name is because I've got a Jennifer B that purchased a question. Sorry, I was just checking the PayPals. Oh, that's you. That's you. No, I just wasn't sure. I didn't see you on here saying anything. And so I have you paid for a question. I just didn't see you post at all. So sometimes people use a different screen name than their private name. So I try to be respectful. And not, because maybe everybody doesn't want their full name out here. And Julia, I got yours too. Okay, so I've got Cindy. I'm hoping Debbie will show up. Lee, do you want me to look at that? Did you want to purchase that or? So who's here that was asking if they can be Aries guidance? Let me put in the list if there's one. So they're $12 a question, and I donate 30% to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. If you ever want a free one, I sometimes do lives over on my TikTok. Follow me over there. Oh, you keep trying. Okay. Which one are you trying on? So I've got the one that's pinned in the comment section. It's also in the paypal.me/myspiritualfriend, but there's also paypal.me/AnnalisaMSF. If you just do Annalisa, some other woman gets it. And I don't know who she is, but she's nice. She seems to be like giving the money back. Hi, Ashley. Okay, I'll check for it. I got yours, Julia. Oh, did I not? I didn't put you in here. I'm sorry, but I got it. You're up late, Ashley. Oh, so are you, Julia? Actually, I forget that you're across the pond. Lee, I have yours. Got it. Done. So I'll add you in here too. Okay. All right. So Cindy, thank you for your patience. Okay, I'll look for your question on PayPal. I'm with the matchsticks. Oh, sorry. I'm like, what? Okay. I know you're up here, Cindy. I was wondering what the house might look like in 2024 and 2025. Terrence and I are looking to purchase. Okay. Okay, perfect. First of all, when you purchase, I feel like you're going to be doing it as a second home, not as a, like, I feel like you keep the one you have and have a second one. And I feel like it'll be more in 2025 rather than 2024. I can't see what the market looks like, but what I can see is that you purchasing a home that requires a lot of work. But I feel like you do that because you want to make it the way you want to make it, because you're not really finding anything that fits what you want. So I feel like you buy something well below your budget, and then you end up doing a ton of renovations on it. I feel like you hold on to your house that you have now. I gotta be honest, it feels like for a peace of mind. I do feel like you'll have it, rent it or whatever, but I still feel like you hold on to it for a peace of mind. And you will understand that when I say that to you. The market doesn't feel too different than it is now. I do feel like, so like Zillow and some other investment people went in and bought up a lot of houses. I do feel like some of those are going to get dumped. But it doesn't feel too far different than it is right now. So there's not a lot available. I don't see the market going upside down the way it did in 2008. I feel like it'll be the summer of 2025 because it feels hot to me. It doesn't feel like winter or anything. Excuse me. I got to be honest, I don't think the interest rates budge that much. What are they at right now? Do you know what they're at right now? So I think right now, like a 30 or 7. They'll go down to about like in the fives is kind of what I felt like. 5.75 is what I saw. It doesn't mean you can't get lower, but I think yours might be in the, yeah, it says 15-year fixed is 5.68. So it feels about the same. I feel like the lowest and a really good deal at that time feels like it might be like 3.75, but I don't know that you'll get that. Not because your, rate or not because you have bad credit or anything like that. It just because you're still carrying a little bit of that other loan. So I think that puts you up a little bit higher or something, depending on how you do it. So it feels like it's like a little below, like maybe 5.75. Excuse me. Sorry. I mean, I just had a client who asked me about, or she said taking out a second mortgage, but what she really meant was she's taking out against her current property to buy another property. So it's not like she was saying it was a refinancing, but it's not. And I just feel like, I don't know that you'll do that. Yeah. Oh, your current is 3.875. Yeah. Um, but I feel like I have to be honest with the way you'll take it out. It feels like there's some kind of assistance for some reason. So I don't know if it's where you're buying and your plan to fix it up, or if it's the fact that when you rent the other one out, like it gets covered a little bit better. But I feel like you'll live in the other one for a little bit while you're doing, uh, doing um, the renovations on your new one. You're saving right now. Yeah. I just heard, is he? um, I think this one will be in your name too. Uh, these won't be the only homes you buy. I feel like you actually won't start to acquire properties just out of investment and you find that it's a really good way for you to make money and you're really good at managing properties and maintaining them and also finding long-term tenants that are good quality tenants. That's what happened with my other client too. I was like, you're really good with, like, she's really good with money. And she kept like being like, well, I was like, why are you deferring to your father? I mean, you just told me it's like, you're really good at this. She's got a really good intuition and knack for property. It may even be that honestly that you're doing this more full time and then the other job you have, I don't want to tell everybody I've read for you personally. And so I feel like that might come to like a part-time thing where it's that supplements this. You actually may even buy an apartment building or something that's a multi-unit property. So good for you. What do they say? Get your bag. Okay. All right. Let's figure out who else is here. Jeffrey, did you show up? So Jen B, if you want to ask, then Julia. You're very welcome. And that came to mind. Perfect. So it's your wishes are out in the ethers. The energy is there. So I need you to do me a favor, Jen. Do you mind listing the first names of your siblings? Because it helps me then, like, because if you're just like, are any health issues? I don't have any way to delineate who I'm looking at and what I'm doing. So it would be easier for me. And I'll try and move through these a little bit quicker. I'm sort of slow and like rambling a little bit more to see if more people would show up. And now that you have Kathy, Jim, Daniel, and Tom. So I feel like you'll be in the same state for 3 years. In the 4th year, it might be Daniel that moves out. It's one of the boys, but I feel like it might be Daniel that moves in the 4th year. But I still don't feel like it's far. Like it doesn't. But also, why does Hawaii come up? Does that make any sense at all? I don't know that that's connected to him moving. I just that's coming up. I do feel like Daniel needs to watch his diet. So just leave Hawaii. Like, just there's some reason that's coming up. Maybe it's a vacation somebody's going to be talking about. Be like, oh, we're planning a trip to Hawaii. I don't know what it is, but it's coming up. So that'll help validate some of the stuff that I'm going to be coming through. So with Daniel, I feel like he needs to watch his diet. I feel like if he's not already type 2 diabetic, he might lean towards that. And it's not that I feel like he's like, oh, he just doesn't care about his health or anything like that. It just feels like very busy. Does that resonate when I say that? And then Kathy, Jim, and Tom. I feel like Tom is prone to like headaches and indigestion. I would say the headaches are more related to like there's some stress stuff, but I just feel like food sensitivities and allergy issues. Maybe like a cluster headache kind of stress. Okay. So I said if he doesn't have it, he might be leaning towards it. So I saw somebody with like a little bit of a belly and kind of sweating. So a little bit like out of shape. And it just felt like to me that the diabetes thing was coming. So I do feel like he probably has high cholesterol. So those are kind of interconnected, right? So it's like lay off the processed stuff, lay off, but I don't feel like it's because he like doesn't care, right? You know, there's some people who are like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat however, I don't care how. It feels like I'm just really busy. And so it's like it seems daunting or overwhelming to change that lifestyle given everything that he's dealing with. So if he hasn't, and I said this, if he hasn't been diagnosed, he may be leaning towards it. So the diet would really help him. I also feel like really cleaning up his diet would help like this other stuff that's going on. So I felt a little short of breath at a point. So to me, that's like just out of shape. Um, Does he have long COVID? And I say that only because it's like some of this feels like triggered by like a viral infection, which viral infections can trigger autoimmune stuff. So um like Epstein-Barr virus, which is mononucleosis, can trigger um, multiple sclerosis, which is an autoimmune disease, and Parkinson's is an autoimmune disease. And I believe that one's also connected to EBV. That one's either connected to that or connected to HPV, and not, so for him, it does feel like he can turn his stuff around. It just takes about a year to kind of get rebalanced. He's having lung issues. I'm just going to say this. COVID, just like Epstein-Barr, just like a lot of other viruses, just like HPV, can trigger, or herpes zoster, chickenpox, can trigger other things, right? They can cause autoimmune stuff. It just, that might be what the lung stuff is. It might not be, even they can cause cancers. EBV is connected to lymphomas and things like that. So is it lymphoma or is it, leukemia? One of those. Like, they wreak havoc on our bodies. It's not just like, that's why vaccines are so important. So you don't get the real stuff. And that's what triggers all the autoimmune stuff, not the vaccines. It just feels like it takes him about a year to get back to feeling better. And it's not because there's not progress until then. It's just like, that's like how long it sort of takes to clear whatever is going on from his body. I would lean towards him cleaning up his diet. If he's not, ask him if he's pre-diabetic. That might even be what it is, but there's something there connected to that. All of that feels like, I mean, there's a lot of holistic stuff you can do. I feel like he is working with his doctors, so I don't feel like he's not getting taken care of. So, like, L-glutamine can heal your gut, which can help heal your immune system. To me, it feels like whatever's going on feels more autoimmune than anything. And that's like, your body's just out of whack. It doesn't feel like I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel like I have lung cancer from smoking too much. Um, Ask him, just mention if he's pre-diabetic. That might give you the answer. Yeah, hold on just a second. Jim and Tom. I think Tom might have to watch his prostate. But I don't feel like it's cancer. It just feels like enlarged prostate causing some issues. Be like, what psychic are you asking and tell me about those parts of me? Sorry. Jim. So surprisingly, I feel like it's funny. Like, everybody might look at Jim and be like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna like have so many health problems because he doesn't really take care of himself." And I feel like he's actually like, he reminds me of my grandfather, like pretty fucking healthy. So like my grandfather smoked, I kid you not, 4 packs of cigarettes a day, and he was it four, two, four, something like that, something insane. And he might have cut back to 2 when he was older, but like at a point, 4 packs, and he drank quite a bit. He did end up with colon cancer, but he didn't die from it. Like he ended up with a bag, I think. I don't remember. But like when he was way older, not even when he was younger, like this man was like built like, I mean, he was also like 6'4". And I just found out that the taller you are, the more likely you are to develop cancer. I just read something about that. I was like, that's interesting. But my point is I feel like Jim is like you would think that he would be the most unhealthy because just how he's lived his life, and he's not. And I'll look at you in just a second. And Kathy. Kathy's a bit of a worrier. I feel like a little bit. She's not a hypochondriac, but like every little thing she gets checked out. Like she is on top of it. So like she would, if there was ever a cancer or anything for her, they would catch it at like, you have one cell that is like gone crazy. Like she's so on top of it. She really could benefit from a breathing exercise or two because I feel a bit anxious and worrier. Okay, let's look at yours really quick and then keep moving on. I'm more drawn to indigestion and gut issues for you. Like I feel like I have slow motility. I'm not really digesting things well. Sorry if this is embarrassing, leaning more towards constipation than anything. I do feel like there's several things connected to this. So number one, it does feel like you really need to increase fiber and water in your diet. But I also feel like there's a component of, you might be hypothyroid. There's a component of that that's connected to that. Can you validate any of that? Big time anxiety with her. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I get like acid reflux. Okay. So I just feel like slow in my gut, like a little backed up kind of feeling. So it might just be a current thing. You don't want to say that, and that's totally okay. But there might be a component of this connected to it. So do you know if you're about your thyroid at all? Okay. Have you been feeling very fatigued and having like not tolerating cold very well, or having hair loss? If you have any of the symptoms of hypothyroid, just look them up. Um, just go in and get it checked. That's all I'm going to say. It may even feel like you might even be more symptomatic before your lab is fit, but it just feels like when they tell you, like when you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, we're going to do a thyroid, just make sure that they're not only doing TSH, that they're doing the whole thyroid panel, not just TSH. I'm leaving it there because if you can't validate it, that's okay. It might not be that, but it may also be that it's something brewing and it won't show up for a little bit. I had that happen with my friend. Actually, I said about our mom, I was like, I think your mom might have congestive heart failure. And she's like, no, she's fine. She sees a cardiologist, and like 8 months later, she was diagnosed with it. So sometimes it's just something that's sort of brewing and they'll show it to me. Sometimes it's nothing and I'm totally wrong. And it's just a way to say that, like, I don't know, but more fiber in your diet and more water would be helpful. It might even help with the reflux, which sounds weird, but okay, I'm going to leave you with that and move on. That was long. You're very welcome. So Julia, Ashley, and Lee. Oh, there you are. General for me, please. Home, work, family, any big changes I need to prepare for. I saw something today, and I was going to comment on like to a thing on my TikTok where a guy was asking like, when you see the changes, like the not like when you do angel numbers, and it's like 555, and it's like, oh, that means change is coming. And he's like, what do you do? How do you prepare? And it's like, well, you don't know necessarily what that means. It could just be like, oh, you're going to change your diet. Like, how do you like some things are just so natural. So I feel like maybe that's just a like a sign. I don't know why I'm rambling that about them, but anyway. Something has shifted with your daughter. I feel like it's your oldest daughter where there's now more harmony between the two of you. I just feel like a weight has been lifted. It feels like things are more in sync in your home. Like just everybody's sort of flowing energetically better with each other. Like maybe for the past 3 years, and I know it's been hard for everybody, or whatever, but maybe it's been like exceptionally like where it's like it feels like it's sticky, like a sticky kind of interactions where just yeah, it can be exhausting. It just feels like whatever something happened in the last like week or two where it just feels like it's relaxed. The energy is more relaxed. Um, I heard Snoopy just now. I don't know. Do you have a dog named Snoopy, or did you ever have a dog named Snoopy? I don't know. Sorry. Or does Snoopy make any sense to anything? Because that just kind of came through randomly. Well, with your daughter, it just feels like also she's like the inner dialogue for her is a lot more relaxed now. She's um, being kinder and gentler with herself, more accepting of herself. Do you have a tooth that's bothering you? Upper right? I mean, that's my left side. My upper left molar. If you have a wisdom tooth, it's going to be your third one in. If you do not have a wisdom tooth, then it's going to be your second one in. I also feel like you would benefit from drinking some more water, but I feel like a little low blood sugary. So if you're doing a fasting thing or something like that, it just feels like that might not be the best thing for you, because I feel like when you're doing that, you're not getting enough fat and protein like at your last meal before you fast for this one. So you're getting like it's kind of screwing up your sleep cycle a little bit. Your body's getting too low too early, or like you're not, it's not working for you. Don't do it. What's no? Um, you have low blood sugar regularly. I forget to eat. Stop forgetting to eat. Set timers. I don't know what no is. I don't know what that meant, but sorry, that's type rambling. I feel like you're been really focusing on what you're eating though when you do eat. Like I feel like you're really being intentional about it, trying to eat more in tune with what your body needs, right? Instead of just like grabbing something and shoving it in your face so you can bring up your blood sugar. What's Snoopy? You don't know what Snoopy means? Hold on to it. It might make sense later. Maybe someone will be like, "Oh, my dog's Snoopy," like whatever. It just feels like it'll be a validation in the moment. maybe one of your kids will start talking about Snoopy. I don't know what it is, but just feel like that's a validation of something for you. Stop worrying about if the energy is going to shift and like, oh, it's going to be crappy again. It's like, no, this is really like the change. That's so just enjoy it and like, don't worry about it. Like, well, it's going to go bad again. It's not. I feel like your daughter would really benefit from learning to like develop her own spiritual stuff, looking at how our belief systems create our reality and looking at how our thoughts are sort of the neural pathways and shifting that. So like, looking at Neville Goddard and Joe Dispenza, she might relate a little bit more to Joe Dispenza because he's more modern. And Neville, you sort of have to like, and same thing with Florence Scovel Shinn, they talk about the Lord, instead of saying the Lord, think of it as the law of the universe. I also feel like talking about her and saying her heart is healing. Her heart chakra is really healing. So I don't know if she got a little breakup or just feel like that's healing. Did you just sage recently? Because I just got a really strong smell of sage, rosemary sage smell. And do you have rosemary planted outside your door? Oh, she's doing an herb garden for you. Okay. So maybe there's sage in the rose garden, in the herb garden, and rosemary. My grandmother used to have a huge rosemary bush outside her front door, and I was always like, this is weird. But then I read recently that that's like it's a way of bringing like kind of like removing negative energy and bringing in positive. Sorry. Okay. All right. We're going to move on. Is that okay? I hope that was enough. Okay, Ashley, let me find your question. And I missed Debris. Oh. You're very welcome. Oh, also, I sent out an email today. If I told you about the woman Victoria that I got an astrological chart reading from, and she's really fabulous. And she was like, I was like, hey, I do you mind if I send out your information in my email? She's like, oh my God, yeah. And she's like, if you want to offer your subscribers and your followers a 25% discount to one of her readings. So if you message her in the email I sent out today, I included her Instagram and her website. So get on my email list. There's deals. There's a 25% discount. So you just have to message her. You can either do it on Instagram or through her website and just let her know that I sent you her way and she'll give you a 25% discount. Okay. So there. You have 240,000 emails I need to clear. Okay. Oh my God. I thought like 30,000 was a lot. Okay. Anyway, so she's really great. She's very thorough. And I like the way I have to say, I've never had a bad chart reading. I've always liked there's a guy, Ryan, on TikTok. That's really great. I enjoyed his. It's just, I've never had a woman read for me before. I've always had male chart readers, believe it or not. My friend Tony's a great reader. Just everybody has their own style. We're all our own filter, right? Same thing I say with psychic readings. And so, excuse me, which is a different style, and I really enjoyed it. Okay. Ashley, um, here we go. So, um, the first thing I got is like really just keep saying to yourself, I know that's not really easy, but keep saying to yourself, like, everything's always working out for me. Everything works out for me in my favor. I do feel like it's like you're going to have to either like go, I don't know why there's like a place to go to talk to somebody. Um, like an embassy. Does that make sense? I do know you're going to get your appointment, but it's like it's weird. It's going to glitch. So you're going to be like, oh, it crashed, or you're going to be like, oh, it's 1 minute before midnight or whatever. It feels like that's when you log on. I don't know why, but it feels like that's when you need to do it. Also, there's something about talking to somebody, or maybe it might be that you end up talking to somebody and then you end up getting in and getting the appointment like through online. There's like something that's going to happen where I feel like you have to talk to somebody, but then it ends up working out. I do feel like it would be really beneficial to have that mindset of like everything's always working out for me, everything's fine. Like even when you start to panic, like listen, I've got lots of spots available still in my psychic development circle. And I'm just trying to go, well, everything always works out for me. It's all working out perfectly. Not worried about it. Like it just feels like not worrying about it so much because that's putting the energy of then it not being there. I know that's a little psycho, but um, you will get it. That's all I can say is like, I know in my heart, I keep feeling it. You will get it. Um, it may even be like on August 30th, like right before you find out, like the day before your other one expires, that you're fine. I also feel like they know that the issue is there. And so there's almost like an extension part where they're willing to be a little bit more flexible. They just scare you. It's just like in the school district when they're like, if you miss too much school, there'll be a truancy issue or whatever. And I'm like, my kid has missed so much school, that one of my kids has missed so much school this year because of being sick. And it's just like, um, her little friends keep telling her, like, you're going to be held back again. And she's like, Mom. And I'm like, but you're not. Like, so don't worry about it. Like, you're not. Like, some of it feels like it's scare tactics. Okay. I see a female. I don't see a male. So I see a smaller woman, short, lighter hair. I don't know that it's blonde, but it's just a lighter color. It's not a really dark hair. Fair skinned. That's what I see. I don't know if she's white. I just know she's got fairer skin. It's funny because I'm like, are they even working on the tech issues with that? And it's like, not really. I don't know if she'll help you get the appointment or the visa. I just keep seeing that someone's there. Like you have to go and see someone in person, but I don't know that what that is. And then like, but also getting the appointment online, it feels like it falls into place okay. And then there's something about August 30th. Like it's, you said the 31st, but I feel like it's just like right before. Excuse me. There's just more bureaucratic tape in your city. But it will work. So mindset has to be in the sense of everything's always working out for me. I'm getting my visa. I'm not worried about it. It's all going to work out. Saying those things does not mean, oh, then I just rest on my laurels and let like the universe bring it all to me. It doesn't work that way, right? It is stupid. But I mean the way the process is. I know what you meant. So like, look, when I do my manifestations, I don't go like, oh, like however magical it's going to happen, my health issues are going to go away or whatever. I don't have a lot of health issues, but like whatever. Like everything's going to find balance and all of that stuff. It doesn't mean that I don't think that there's going to be something I physically have to do for it. It just means that I'm open to whatever the universe brings me to be inspired to move towards. So it's like, maybe it's the idea of like, I'm going to get on 1 minute early tonight and like, it's going to like work itself out. It's just the idea of like, knowing you're going to get it, it's going to work out. It happened before. I panicked, but it's like, I don't need to panic. I know it's all going to work out, not just resting on your laurels, but like, instead of feeding the worry machine, like, oh, I'll never get in, it always crashes. Cause it's like, well, then it does. Then it does. You'll get the date. Don't worry. It'll all work out. Don't worry. It'll all work out. I feel like you'll have the date within the next week or so. You'll have a date. So I don't feel like it's further out than that. I feel like you're going to get it. It's going to be okay. What dates did you say that it happens on? Maybe that's in the email. Here, let me see. Sunday, Monday morning, Sunday night, Monday morning. I know. I read that. You'll have it. It's like you'll have the date. Probably if it's not today, like I guess you're already past midnight or whatever. It's this coming week. It feels very, very quick. Listen, hang on. Let me find this. I'm gonna post what it's called, and you guys you start listening to this. And I'm gonna say this is a really, I think it's a really great one to listen to. Oh, I'm watching myself live right now. I got my history. There, it's called. Join hundreds of high achievers. No, I don't want to. Go away. Here. I just want to see if I can find how what the link is. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm going to put the link here. I want you guys to listen to this. I'm going to tell you in a second what something I noticed after starting it. YouTube/8. I think they're O's and not zeros. So we'll have to link it and see. I think it's an I and not an L. So we'll find out if it's what I think it is. Let's see if this links me to what I think it is. No. Let me do it this way. Hang on, give me a second. I'm going to figure out a way to do this. Let me go into pages. I have another way of doing it. Give me just a second. Okay, let me delete this one. Okay. Let's see if this will do it. Yay. Okay, that's the one you want. So you're going to listen to that. It's like an 8-hour thing. But here's something cool that came from that. That's a lucky girl thing. And it's just an affirmations about I'm lucky. The universe always falls. Everything falls into place for me. Victoria actually sent that to me. So I started listening to it and this thing happened. And again, sometimes with manifesting, it's not that it's like something so magical, but like I went to go get Starbucks. I was running. I dropped my kids off at school. I had to be back in about 10 minutes to see my youngest daughter do her field day. And I went to Starbucks I wanted a tea, and I ordered it and I was like, okay, I'm not going to panic because there was a really long line in the drive-thru. So I went in. Yes, this link works. So I went in and I was waiting and I was being patient. And I just went up to the register and I was like, you know what? I was like, if it's going to be 30 minutes, I'm not worried about it. I'll come back. Like, because they had one machine was down. They only had one machine working or something like that. And had very long lines. And I said, I don't mind coming back. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to know how long it was going to be. And he's like, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just do it for you. You have a tea? No problem. I'll just do it for you. Like, it was a London fog. And I was like, okay, cool. And normally I would feel very guilty about it, that I was like, oh, I was this person who jumped in line in front of everybody, was really pushy or whatever. And this, because I was listening to this lucky girl thing, I was like, oh no, I manifested this. Because one of the things is like, oh, people love doing things for me, or, and it's like, everything's always working out for me. So I was like, oh, I manifested this. I just shifted it and looked at it differently. So it just feels like, start listening to this and it'll shift your perspective. Cause I had that twinge in me that started to want to go, oh, that was like kind of cringy that I had asked for somebody to do something for me. It's like, if you've spent your life being insanely independent because you weren't allowed to ask for help for whatever reason your upbringing was, it can feel like the world is against you sometimes and that nothing ever works out for you. So it just feels like, just listen to this. It would be very beneficial. Okay. All right. So it's going to work out. I just know it. All right, Lee, your question was about your niece. What's her first name? All of you could benefit from listening to that, by the way. So open it up, save it to your watch later or whatever list you have going. All right, Lee, are you here, dear? Are you still patient with me? I just like it. I also like her voice. It's a nice voice. It's like not jarring. Some people can be jarring. Okay, so Lee, let's look at, can you tell me your niece's first name again? I just want to find. Darn it, Lee. I know I had your thing where you said. Okay. It's okay. Let me just try and find it. My eyeballs are like. There it is. 15 distant from. Okay. All right. Okay, that's all I wanted was her first name. Okay. Let me put that down. Okay. It's a chocolate flavored C's lollipop, and they're yummy. So I feel like, first of all, she's okay. I do feel like I don't feel like she's doing anything bad on it. Do I think it's a bad idea to have the bark app? No. But I also feel like it should be like a, hey, I mean, I don't feel like it should be sneakily done. It should be really open and honest communication. Um, I feel like it just reminds me a lot of my daughter. So it's that feeling of like she's going to withdraw more as a way of um, resetting her nervous system. So, and I sort of do this a little bit. Like yesterday, my little one had a birthday party to go to, and it was at this like, I don't know what they call it, jump place, like where they have like these big blow up toys inside. It's all inside, and it's like flashing lights, and it's really loud. And I actually considered bringing earplugs, and I did, and I didn't put them in, and I should have. So we went from that. I came home quick and did ate quick and did a few things. I had to send some emails and send out some Zoom links for clients. And then went to the schools. Like their school had at the end of the year always has this, they call it Fun Fest, where they have a whole bunch more of these like blow up things outside in the field by their school, and a DJ and food trucks and things like that. Again, very loud, like the loudest speakers ever. Um, and it's, like loud bass pumping music. And like I came home and I literally was so tired. I just had to sleep. So it just feels like, um, so it just feels like she just needs a lot of downtime. I don't feel like the friend is brainwashing her with negativity. Um, it is normal for kids to kind of, like, I heard this really great analogy, and I loved it. This guy who said he was talking to his kids, and he's like, when you're like 12 years old, 12, 13, 14, you're gonna like think I'm stupid and I don't know anything. And that's gonna happen until you're about 24. And then when you're 24, you're gonna come back and realize I knew what I was talking about. And that's because by nature, we're supposed to like think our parents are really stupid so that we go out, so that we, spread the gene pool out, and we're not, intermixing our genes too much. Like it's by nature and by design. And it just feels like there's part of that too. If he gets the Bark app, I just feel like it's fine to do that, but I also feel like she needs to kind of know about it, because I feel like it's I don't know. It feels like that would break trust more than just, I don't know. I don't feel like she's doing anything too detrimental. I don't get that. I actually feel like it's much more innocent. As much as he thinks it's a friend, I feel like she may just be watching a lot of YouTube and just zoning, like kind of creating a safe space for her brain, like to decompress from school. She's 3 weeks to finish a class. She hasn't started, and she keeps telling my brother's stressing her. He is, and she's in her head. So it's that frozen point of like, of just overwhelm. So it feels like she needs, like, it's like you have this class, she needs someone to say like, okay, do this part by this time, do this part. Like she needs it broken up, because when she sees it all at once, it's overwhelming. Your brother is expecting her to process everything as a neurotypical, and she's not. And so she's autistic. So it's like, she needs help. Um, is she, how do I say this? It feels like it's not asked of her. It feels like it's a demand. And so look up PDA. Let me see what the acronym is so I say it right because I always mess up the P. Pathological demand avoidance. It's a profile that describes those whose main characteristics is to avoid everyday demands and expectations to an extreme extent. This section explains what a PDA profile. It's autism.org.uk. Pathological demand avoidance. Like my daughter has it. So you just learn that you don't. I just say like, well, it would be really nice. I don't really. I don't know how to explain it. Right, because it's pathological demand avoidance. Um, Look up PDA, start reading and researching. There's something about there's a book that I got for the PDA child. But it's really like so I noticed my daughter had an issue with milk allergy. She was having like some issues when stomach issues when she would eat things with milk, and she kept saying it was this medicine she was on. So we took her off the medicine. She takes one medicine to help her sleep at night, and the other one was for anxiety, but we took her off of it, and her anxiety is lower. It's not, so it wasn't really helping her. So it's fine. But also, I don't want to load her up on medication. I sort of want her to have some say because she's the one taking it. If it's really making her feel bad, then I'm not going to force her to take it. But I was like, hey, I just noticed that like your stomach gets really upset when you eat stuff that has milk in it. And she's like, it's not that, it's medicine. I was like, okay, whatever. And then like she started realizing like, oh yeah, my stomach does get really upset when I eat something with milk in it. Like she kind of put it together. I didn't tell her, I didn't force her, I didn't say like you shouldn't. I just was like, hey, I just noticed that. And it just feels like it's like maybe if it's just like, hey, I noticed when we ask you if you want to come do stuff, you get really mad. Is there, or it would be really nice, like you could just say, like, it'd be nice if you came with us. We miss you, we miss hanging out with you. It's okay, we understand if you don't want to, but it'd be nice to be able to hang out. Like it's leave it as like a her option, her autonomy, and then she'll move more towards stuff. But when she feels that need to do it, it, it throws something out of whack in her brain. So he tries to demand first. And so it's basically already set it up. So then she gets in her amygdala. I think this is amygdala up here. She gets in her front part of her brain and it's like fight or flight mode. And so it's like, I, it's never going to happen. So it can never come as a demand. That's what I'm telling you. So it literally has to be like, hey, we're going to do this. And it'd be really cool if you wanted to join us. We miss you. We'd love hanging out with you. But we also understand if you don't want to, let us know. Like it's literally like there's no demand. It's floating out there in the la la land. And then she'll start to join more. So if she says she's okay, genuinely go, okay, no problem. It's okay. That's what I'm telling you. You are so caught up in it. Like you need your family. You have to be around your family. But somebody who is autistic and tends to be more on the introverted autistic side. I do know autistic people that are much more extroverted. My friend's daughter is, and she's like, where's your daughter? Why isn't she here? On the thing on yesterday, I was like, this is a lot for her. And she's like, oh, I'm annoyed by sounds too. I just don't go that close to there. I was like, yeah, she's just not, this is a lot for her. So it just feels like your daughter is probably more like or your niece is more like my daughter. And the feeling I get is literally like, she doesn't need as much time with her family as you think she does. it may be frustrating or upsetting to you, it doesn't mean she doesn't need you at all. It's just where she's at. The more you push, the more she goes away. I let my daughter and the more she's coming out now, it took a long time to get her to there. Like, she has asked several times in the last few weeks to, like, she's come out, she comes hang out with my daughter. My youngest daughter was really upset this morning. She came and sat with her. Like, she's coming out more, but because I gave her the space to reset that she needed to. And I know it sounds, it's a test of your patience to do that and to understand it, but it's working, and it goes against everything everybody's telling me to do, but she's coming out and being more connected. So I'm trusting my intuition over everybody's like, oh, she needs to be in therapy. I'm like, she will not talk to somebody who's a therapist. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no. She needs to be able to have reset time, know that she's safe, know that she can trust me, that I'm going to help her, and I'm on Team Jillian. And like, we went out to eat. My daughters and I went out to eat one day, and she ordered all by herself, and she doesn't do that. It's not because it's in her head about what she's going to experience when she's there. So my recommendation is, for an event, ask a month ahead of time. Perfect. Tell her about a week of time. Remind her, hey, we're going to go here. Oh, do you want to see this is what the place looks like? This is what it's, like, let her see pictures online, what she's going to experience. So she's very well prepared. And then it makes it less. But if I don't even know what the space looks like, it's all like up here and crazy. It's a process, and it takes a long time. And I'm telling you, I've listened to, I don't know how many people be like, tell me I don't know what I'm doing, make me feel like I'm making the worst choices for her. But she's coming out of a place of being in a really dark, heavy, like, my kid did not smile for a year. And she's really a tough kid. My mom was a teacher, and she was like, I've tried all the teacher things with her. They don't work. I'm like, no, they don't. Like, she needs her own space. And I just give her a lot of patience and a lot of love and a lot of understanding, and letting her know her choices are okay. Like, it's okay if she doesn't want to be around a lot of people today. It's okay for her to have those boundaries, and it's okay for her to set those boundaries, and I'm going to respect them, because the reality is, if you teach somebody that they should feel bad about having their boundaries or whatever, when she is off on her own, she's not going to be able to set her own boundaries or trust them. Okay, so then remember, when you tell someone they can't be friends with somebody, what happens? So why not have a conversation around, like, hey, I notice your friend does this. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? You might find that your daughter is like, yeah, it's like fucking nuts. I can't believe they're like that, but I still like the person. Like, I find that the more I ask my kids what their thoughts are on things and how they feel about it and what would they do about stuff, they make pretty good decisions. And they've got really great observation skills. And they don't agree with stuff that other people are doing. A lot of it is just fucking decompressing. Like, you see it as zoning out, but it's literally disassociating so I can fucking deal with the world. Like, she has been heavily masking for a really long time, so she is burnt out. And it's really hard for somebody to think, how could a kid be burnt out? But I realized that, like, I disassociated a ton. A ton of that was from, like, trauma and all of the abuse that I grew up with. But, like, some of it is like, how do I process the world I just kind of go. Um, I would come home and my parents, I remember in high school, would be like, "Don't you want to go out with your friends?" I'm like, "No, I'm like, I want us to just stay home. Is that okay?" It wasn't because I never wanted to be a part of it. I was just like, I was burnt out. Like I came home from that thing yesterday and I like was like, I'm just gonna go in the room for a while. And I took a little bit of a nap and I just like all of that extra sensory stuff was just over. I was just over it. And my kids get it because they all have stuff too. So it's like, oh, okay. She's defending the friend because she feels attacked. Instead of attacking the friend, you're like, hey, I noticed what's going on. Expecting her to come up phase to developmental phase, she's where she should be in pushing back on you and connecting more friends. And so it's like if you don't make her feel like she has to defend what she's doing, she's more open to be like, oh, my parents trust me. Okay, like so like, hey, I noticed your friend like bashes her mom a lot, like, or whoever the mom is. I don't know if it's like, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts? Like, how is that mom really? Sorry. It just feels like asking is really important. Leaving it open ended, see what her thoughts are, see where her process is. She may be able to open it, but she might be a little bit stuck. But she feels when you're attacking her friend, that's my friend. So she's going to be really defensive. Imagine you're her. Imagine you're like, I'm fucking burnt out. Like work has burned me hard. Like this has been a really hard life. Like literally all I want to do is just lay in my room and be quiet and be left alone and like zone out watching stupid shows or videos or TikTok or whatever. And I'm feeling pressured in every other way and I just need to like chill out. It could, but the more you push against it, the more she's going to try and maintain that friendship. So it's like, just let it go. Just open up and ask, what do you think about that? Like, I've noticed that. How do you feel about it? What do you think about that? Like, you could still like them as a friend and not agree with all of their choices. Y'all, I'm telling you, my hair has come back in. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. That's just me. And I'm not saying I'm a perfect mom and like, but I've learned through doing the stuff the wrong way that there's an easier way and it brings your child out and it creates more connection. And in the end, the most important is the connection, but you can't just go, well, you have to be connected to us. Cause like you have to develop that. And it takes the parent and the adult has to make that step. You can't expect the child to find the bond. It's your job. Well, that's her journey. She needs to do it that way for whatever reason. I don't know. I can just tell you that like I've been there with my kid and she does spend a lot of time in her room. She does spend a lot of quiet time. She gets overwhelmed and dysregulated very easily. So she spends a lot of time in her room. Allie, I'm gonna actually go because I've been on for 2 hours. I'm usually here at 4. I started at 6:15 today, but I'm gonna go because it's my kid's gotta go to bed and I don't feel like it's drugs. I'm telling you, it's autism. It would really benefit you to go on TikTok and look for late diagnosed women who are coming out of burnout. They will, I mean, your daughter sounds, I mean, your niece sounds exactly like that. It would be really, really beneficial. Okay. I'm going to go now, though. I'm really tired. It's 8:15. So I will see you guys next week at the regular time. Okay. Have a good one. All right, Lee, I'm going to go. Yeah, I would say leave her be and then, but leave it more open instead of all the demand. Because look up pathological demand avoidance, start reading about that. You'll be like, oh, this is totally her. And how to connect with somebody that has that, how to, um, it's like get them to do things without doing it through a demand. That's the best way I can say it. You're welcome. All right, y'all have a good week and I will see you and come join my psychic development circle. Tell your friends about it. Okay, bye.